Hey guys, today's video is for the more advanced practitioners. We're going to analyze some footage of my teacher from 2012. See if you can figure out what he's doing and what he's talking about. And then from there, I'll walk you through it in detail. My name is Nima King and I have the privilege of running Hong Kong's biggest Kung Fu school. I love teaching people of all ages and types about the many benefits of this deceptively powerful practice. So if you're interested in Wing Chun, then you've definitely come to the right place because that's what we love to talk about. Now let's get into the video. But before we do, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on all the notifications so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Thank you.
I lift my arm up like that, there's the three deltoid muscles in. If I drop my head and drop my shoulder, the ventral muscle relax, but my deltoid is still tense. Is there a movement here, right there? So I'm trying to say to relax the three, the deltoid muscle, the ventral muscle, this is relaxed now.
你唔好望佢，你望住我，你望我，唔放鬆。
Release it. Yes. That's, some people might get it to us.
Good.
My feet. Make it quick. Yeah. Feel my friend.
Yeah. 好啦。
I felt it go. First, I felt something goes through my body actually. No, we're ethically. So,
Move side.
Yeah.
You were hypnotized then.
Put that down in the memory bank.
That's why I said, look
停喺度，你話我隻手停喺度，得，你跌低咗，你要放住。
Come on, Jason.
停喺度，唔得啊！你隻手會跌，你即係放軟咗啲肌肉，係即係就變佢唔普通。唔識控制嗰組肌肉冇活動性，要活動到唔識控制嗰組肌肉，即係你本身就係我只係一個幫你控制到，咁你就停住喺度，你個嗰啲力就好大㗎啦，但係一喐就冇咗㗎啦。佢自己放鬆就係佢自己放鬆，就好似佢咁跌低落，我一放手咁跌落去，佢嗰啲叫放軟。
以為自己伸出嚟，
係啊，伸出去伸到冇咗隻手為止。而家呢啲唔係冇嘅，呢啲係俾人喐緊，咁我捉，你就聽住就得啦。講得明啊？咁樣而家落啦，落啦你就彈開呢度少嘅，再彈開呢度少啲啊。講鬆㗎，咁你話你上隻手，你望住我嗰度，你上隻手我嗰度，咁啊唔好喐喎，上啫喎，上。你望我邊度，你就手就摸上去，千祈唔係喐，千祈唔係喐，咁你隻手就喺嗰度唔喐㗎啦。諗下嘅啫，個念頭我想做乜，我又唔出力，到我出力嗰陣，我想打你，淨係想啫，佢就唔會打㗎啦。
真係喎，
想下嘅啫嘛。所以我叫你望住，我想下我邊度啦，佢隻手會跟住嚟嘅喎。
我手冇喐到，
冇喐到㗎。我想叫人打少兩頭，千祈唔好用力㗎，打個樣出嚟先，輕輕鬆鬆。 打住隻筆咧就要就手點。
係啊，咁其實點解呢度嘅？我係咪推咗？
Alright, so here Sifu Bo was asking about the different, obviously you heard the different positions of the arm means that different muscles are going to be relaxed and activated. So in this case, when my arm is up, my chest is relaxed, but my delts, I've got trouble relaxing my deltoids, so what can I do? And then, as we can see, Master Choi, now have a look at what he's doing in terms of he's facilitating relaxation by supporting his arm up first, but he's not just supporting here. Look what he's doing with his fingers as well. He's using both hands to help him relax here, at the same time helping him to relax here, and then at the end he's not supporting his arm anymore. Now what happened here this first time with Bo, he didn't have the intention to move his arm forward, or the intention to connect with Master Choi. Therefore, if you have a look, the force, when he pushes in, the force does affect him here. So his muscles were relaxed relatively to when he wasn't getting help from Master Choi. But you can see the force is entering here. And Master Choi is not pushing that hard, but you can still see that the force was entering here. Now, the second time, I think, because Bo felt the relaxation, and the second time he helps him to I think he gets the idea that he wants him to intend flow forward within the relaxation through the arm and connect it to him. See, and now and what he did the second time there, and you can't see his thumb, but he used to do this all the time, he's helping him to have the idea of turning this joint from here and guiding it from the front, so that Bo's, you see there the second time, force it and enter, and when he let go, notice that Bo continues to turn that way towards him. Watch, when he lets go, you see? So that means he was loaded and the force was going towards him. So this is a very important point with what I was just going to say about, is demonstrated here as well, the difference between mindless relaxation and mindful relaxation. So this student here, he's not able to relax in the way that Master Choi says. So he's just sort of floppily resting his arm, and yeah, so he's just pushing down or floppily resting down, and therefore the mind can't flow through the arms. So this is not this floppy relaxation, mindless relaxation. As he's saying here, we have internal activity over the muscles, over the joints, over the, of course, the connective tissues as well, the ligaments, the tendons. And in this case, this student couldn't do it. Now, this is what he's talking about, what he does with Mark as well. And obviously here he's talking Mark through it as well. So he can, if you can understand the language, when he talks you through it, he's guiding his intention also verbally as well as physically, what he was doing with Bo. Now, what he says here is, this is something that he didn't communicate with Bo, is to visualize your arms going forward. So when you're in this mindfully relaxed state, the joints are active, it's not floppy, and you visualize, you see his arm didn't even move, but the joints were active so they could support force. So this position, what he's doing with these guys, this is the easiest position. Obviously, you see the angle is already quite open. If the arm was closer to the body, it'd be harder to relax the joints. If the arm was fully straight as well, it'll be harder. But when you got this sort of a, this sort of circular angle as we do in Tan Sao, Fok Sao, Bong Sao, it's the easiest angle to be able to relax it. And the arm is just presented sort of forward. So there's different, of course, to do the same thing in different movements from different positions would be more difficult. Now, and this is just the arm, right? So we want to do this internal sort of activation and projection, not just in the shoulder, elbow, wrist. We want to obviously do it through the spine, and this is why this idea of sing, this idea of rising through the spine is very important, but also all the way through the legs, so everywhere in the body, through the fingertips, all the way to the feet. Of course, the hip joints, knee joints, ankles, these are much harder to relax because they're weight bearing, but we want the same thing. We want the same effortless structure and internal activation in every single joint. And that's what he says. So what he's talking about here in Silam Tao. He says in Silam Tao, that's what we want to do. Now, what he's saying here, this is talking about the second stage of Silam Tao. The first stage just being, there's a video of him that I've transcribed that you can find on the YouTube channel, where he's talking about the 3 different stages of Silam Tao. First stage being moving effortlessly and moving fluidly. So just to be able to not move rigidly and move fluidly with an even pace, even speed, that itself is quite hard to do. Usually people are quite jerky with their movements, right? So that's the first stage. Second stage is what he's talking about here. So being able to guide the movements with the mind. Guiding the movements with the mind means that you are your physical body is moving as an after effect of your intention of wanting to do a movement. So for example, what Mark was doing here. So here he's intending the Tan Sao to move forward, or the Fuk Sao, or this arm to move forward. So that means his intention, his feeling, of course it's embodied, not like what he was doing where it was effortless. His mind wasn't running through. His mind is running at least through this shoulder girdle, elbow here, and you can see he's got some intention in his hand as well. His hand is not fully floppy. So he's got intention here, of course, but his intention is projecting, which means going beyond his physical body, visualizing beyond or intending beyond, projecting beyond his physical body to Master Choi. Now you can be very precise, so you can just sort of generally focus it in this direction towards, let's say Mark can focus it towards Master Choi, or he can start to be very precise. So he can, the force that he projects could be a very thin, straight, precise line. For example, I want to focus it, straight to this point, or to his shoulder, or to his neck, or to this elbow joint, etc. And he could then, visualize the trajectory of the force as well. So whether it's arcing outwards like a bong sao, arcing inwards like a fuk sao, etc. And this is, so the idea is, what I want to highlight here is that the intention, once it's embodied, once it's from the body, it's going from inside and exiting the body. So it's projecting out of the physical body. And therefore, as a result of that projection, if everything's in the right state, the arm will move. So you literally start to witness your arm moving in all these different shapes. This is in Silam Tao, of course. You take that understanding in all the other forms as well. And then the third stage of Silam Tao is when you have flow of what he called lim lek. So we have flow of intention, unceasing flow, which means it begins at the tailbone, rises up through the spine. As it's rising up through the spine like a fountain, in this case, as it's rising up through the spine like a fountain, it's coming out both arms and going down both legs. And it's not just like okay, I've got to come up the spine first, and then I've got to come out the legs. No, it's flowing throughout the whole body consistently. But if we had to say it starts from somewhere, it's starting from the tailbone, rising up the spine. But as it rises up, almost simultaneously, as soon as it goes through the thoracic spine and it continues going up towards the neck and to the top of the head, as soon as it goes up through the thoracic, it starts to flow out both arms. And as soon as it starts to rise up from the lower back, it starts to flow down the legs. And then that flow, you project. And so rather than just imagining like your arm moving in its particular shape, the flow is what dictates the movements. And that's the third stage of Silam Tao. And some people call that flow of intention chi, hey, energy. But as he says in his DVD, he named it nim lek. Nim means mind, lek means force. So it means basically it's a bit easier to understand. It's just whether we call it chi, energy, or whatever, there is a substance in him. We could feel it. There's videos of this you can watch. We could hold his forearm and we would feel the flow of something. And he would just say, it's my intention, flowing through his physical body. And that is the third stage of Silam Tao. So it is very, a very, very important, and what we believe is a fundamental essence of Wing Chun. People say, okay, Wing Chun is not an internal art. That's why they have to go to other internal arts, Tai Chi, things like that, to borrow from there and bring it back. No. Wing Chun is the utmost internal art that I've come across, having touched hands with every other internal master that I've come across with. this level of openness in the joints that facilitates flow. Look, if the joints aren't open, if you can't, and this has got to be tangible. And the people that have met me, I'm nowhere near as I don't have nowhere near the control that he had. But if you meet me, I can show the tangible opening of, for example, my elbow joint and my shoulder joint while I hold the tansao without moving the arm. Or I can show you the opening or the freedom of movement in the spine while you're pulling on my neck, and I'm able to seemingly effortlessly move against your force as you're trying to, let's say you get me in a clinch. I can keep my spine unaffected and move against your directional force. And this ability of openness, interconnection of the body, openness of the joints is a prerequisite for what people, in my opinion, call chi or flow of energy or whatever. If the joints are not, the body, I keep saying joints, but that's inclusive of course, the muscular system, the tendons, ligaments, if the body, the fascia, if the body isn't open enough to that level, and which can be tangibly felt by someone else, and it can be proven by being able to seemingly go directly against the direction of the force applied. It can effortlessly move against the force applied. If you don't have that ability first, then talking about chi or energy or something like that is just it's not true. This is my opinion. This is our opinion. This was his opinion. But it also makes sense. There's different stages to internal arts and to be able to gain that control in the body. And the prerequisite is the tangible openness of the body, of the joints, which can be tested, which can be tangibly felt by someone else, and it can be tested through force projection. Therefore, you don't need yielding and things like that. We don't do yielding. You can redirect, of course, but you can move directly against the direction of the incoming force with effortlessness. Muscular skeletal system can perform through this interconnection and through this sort of mindful state like that, and then from there the higher levels will naturally lead to what we can, again, we're just using words, but what we can call energy flow or chi or whatever you want to call it. Hope that makes sense. Any questions, comments, please comment below. Cheers, guys.